Next up on Jason's video game source, we got some impressions for Beast of Reincarnation, developed by Game Freak. Uh, it released August 4th for all platforms. Xbox Series X, which is what I'm playing it on, uh, the PC and PlayStation 5. Now, I am familiar with Game Freak. This is only a Game Freak game I played, which is funny because this is only Pokemon's game. I know it's Pokemon. Only Pokemon game I played, ZA. So they go from making Pokemon and making a game like this, which is a third person action adventure, double A game basically, in the vein of such classics as Nier Automata, Stellar Blade, some gameplay mechanics from Sekiro with the parry mechanics and everything. This game reminds me of quite a bit of games actually, but it's not a great game. It's a good game. Okay, it's a good game, but it does have flaws, some negatives. Uh, and published by Fictions, by the way. I'm not familiar with Fictions other than playing this game. So I put about, I don't know, 10 hours into this game. I'm just on chapter 2. Okay, so right off the bat, this can be a long game because I think there's 12 chapters. So it could truly be one of those 30-hour action adventure RPGs. Yeah, this is RPG, by the way. So let's start with the negatives. Performance. Yeah, the performance was terrible the first night. Then within 24 hours, uh, Game Freak added a patch which got rid of a lot of the performance issues. I am playing it, like I said, I'm playing this on the Xbox Series X via Game Pass, and it will often go down in the single digits. Okay, that's just it was barely unplayable almost first night. So they patched it, and things got a lot better the second day. But today I noticed some more stutters and stuff, and I am playing this in performance mode. There's three different difficulties. There's a story, normal, and a hardcore difficulty. So this game people think is a Souls like. It's not a Souls like. It's not a Souls like. There's fast travel points everywhere. There's multiple difficulties. Um, this game is more like Stellar Blade to me than Sekiro. Yeah, you have a parry mechanic and everything, but it's designed to actually help the most important aspect of the gameplay, besides Emma, the protagonist, is Ku, the big dog that's blight inflicted. They get connected early into the game, and you see all this stuff through a lot of cutscenes and everything. So Ku is, and I'm gonna get into the positives really. Ku is felt great pretty much early on for me. He has his own command list, his own upgrade trees, skills, attributes, uh, items to use, weapons to use, passives to use, and it's all tied to you know whether you want to use it faster. You do parries in combat, and it fills up his FP gauge, and it also breaks the enemy's uh, stamina, not stamina, but the stagger meter, whatever it's called. So I really like that. Okay, combat overall, I just really like. I really like the combat. There's a lot of agency and choices to upgrade in Emma and Ku. So that's a positive as a combat. Another thing I really love about this game is actually the traversal. She has this Bayonetta hair powers. It's the whole world is she's inflicted by a blight, but she's human. Um, and Ku is also inflicted by blight, and they connect. So she can like do these hair things where the maps are open world and they're laid out in chapters, right? The maps are good. Okay, they're pretty damn good for exploration, leveling up, finding loot to upgrade your weapons and stuff back at the Cleanse Walker, what I'll get into later. But the maps are pretty good because they're designed for the blight powers. Horizontal and vertical. You can look up, you can look left, and you can like usually go up and left or go down. You can use her hair vine powers to like do death from above attacks and whatnot, and also within combat you can use them too. So I guess the only thing would be the campsites, the bonfires in this. But nah, this game is not like a Souls like. It's its own thing. I guess it will be more like Wu Chang Fallen Feathers like than anything else to me, as far as the layout of it. But yeah, it has a lot of agency. It has a lot of ways to upgrade, choices to and skills are upgrade, and then you gain you collect amber, you collect armors, you collect weapons. You know, you talk to these golems, which to me remind me of Nair Automata game, because the world, this takes place in 4026, so what, 2000 years from now. And yeah, there's humans. There doesn't seem like there's many humans, but it definitely has like these golems, which are like robots, and they're like the overseers. They're like control humans and stuff. So it has that Nair, like the whole world is like in ruins, with nature taking over the growth and the aesthetic of the world and stuff. So that's where I get a lot of the Nair energy from, vibes. And you could tell Game Freak really pointed to Nair, Stellar Blade, Sekiro as far as like what they're looking for in this game, because it's obvious. Like that was their inspiration. A couple different games were their inspiration. So the Blight, aesthetically, it's like flowers and plants. It's ingrained in like humans' bodies and the animals, which turn into monsters called Nushis, I believe. And that's what actually Ku is. He's a Nushi. He was like transformed by the Blight. He's like a wolf and stuff. Um, the story is somewhat interesting, but the writing is not that good. The writing's a negative. I'm playing it in English to a fault. I haven't even heard the Japanese because I'm just trying to get through the game and listening to it and stuff and writing down notes and stuff. But the writing's not that good. I don't know what is up with Emma, but she is like Nexus One replicant in Blade Runners. Like she's 18, right, and she's a human, but she has issues like talking to people, like when she should say thank you or you're welcome, or you know greeting people. She doesn't like understand basic human interactions and stuff. And there's other NPCs. uh Another big part of the game is between chapters is it's a cleanse walker, which is also like a human, but it's a giant machine like an AT-AT or ATST from Star Wars that you travel around the world and go into chapter and chapter. You can always trans fast travel to that. That itself, the Cleanse Walker has its own economy. It has an incubator. You can raise chickens and get golden eggs. It has a garden where you can raise plants and stuff. You could like cultivate potatoes and rice and food. Uh, and there's a cook on the Cleanse Walker NPC that you'll learn about. You make friends with later and stuff. And there's a pilot. There's a lot of cussings too within the pilot, within the Emma's friends who she's meeting along the journey and helping. And they're helping her, and it's more cutscenes to this game than I thought as far as the story is concerned. But getting back to the Cleanse Walker, it has its own economy. It's like its own little hub. Basically, you sleep, you can wash, take a shower, and clean Ku and talk to Ku. You can talk to all the NPCs on it and stuff. So it's like a good respite from the combat and everything, and being out into the open world too. So yeah, so the positives are the combat traversal. The negatives really has some performance issues in the Xbox Series X. I can't speak on the PC. I can't speak on PlayStation or PlayStation 5 Pro. But yeah, it definitely had some performance issues, and the writing, particularly with Emma, I just seems bad. I don't get it. Like maybe she wakes up and she becomes more human. I think that maybe that's a lead up to the part of the story in the future. I don't know. Like I said, and I'm probably what, not even a quarter through the game at this point. So I got a lot more chapters to go, a lot more gameplay. Oh yeah, boss fights are good. Enemy variety, like I said, there's Nushis, which are like the organic monsters inflicted with the blight, and then you got golems. That's pretty much it. Now there's different levels to each. There's grizzlies, there's bears, there's giant frogs, there's mutated, all kind of like animals. You can kind of tell they're animals from the world that got transformed and everything. And the golems are basically like heavy golems, archer golems, agile golems. That's about it as far as as far as what I've been dealing with in the open world. What else? Boss fights are pretty good. Boss fights, they try to make these big lead up, extravagant boss fights. Like I was fighting a giant golem in one sequence, and all of a sudden this NPC female comes in and she talks to you. She's like introduced to the game and stuff. So it's a game like that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Stellar Blade. It has a lot of Stellar Blade, like overall, design to it in a weird way, but it does have a lot of aspects of other games. You know, if you played a lot of like these recent action adventure games, you're like, okay, RPGs, you're like, okay, I recognize a lot of this shit. But yeah, it's a great game in this combat. And to me, games like this, these action adventure RPGs, the bet it has to have good combat, which it does, and it has to have. Actually, it doesn't have to have, but it has to have. This has a good like traversal system that's unique. You're basically like Bayonetta using your hair to get to places, and like one time I found this dragon shrine, and it permanently upgrades your shit. I'll say it. I don't know what they're called. I forgot what they're called in this game, but Estus flag, like your permanent potions to use within battle and stuff. Yeah. So there's these dragon shrines and stuff. There's all kind of ingredients, materials, and stuff. And like I said, you could collect armor. I collected two different armors so far, like a cuirass and an armor that's good against for flame protection. Far as upgrading weapons, like I said, you can do that at campfires, or you can do it on the cleanse walker, and there's various ways. You get it depending. You get there's ranged weapons too. There's a crossbow, automatic crossbow, and also I think it's called a Zangetsu bow that you can use to fire at enemies, break them down and stuff. So it has a lot of flexibility in combat. The combat's good. The combat is good. Combat is probably one of the best things in this game to me. And it makes you want to keep playing it. And then depending on what I played it on all difficulties, and depending on which one you play it on, easy's easy. Normal is a little more challenge. The hardest difficulty you will die. So it you know it has difficulties too. That's why I'm saying it's nothing like a Souls game. Um, so what else we got? Like I said earlier, you could fast travel over all the map at any time. Pretty much, you're out of combat, you could fast travel. You could crouch. There is stealth in this game, whatnot. Especially when you use Emma's hair vine powers, doing depths of above. You could manipulate the terrain and get up high on type of like some water tower, some giant mech, and do a horizontal hair thing, and hang over Batman style and like an enemy, and just death from above them. So the hair powers are really good. Bosses has been pretty good, pretty challenging, pretty fun. I did beat most of the bosses on the first try normal though, so the game is not that difficult. It just isn't. Like playing a normal, it's just not. It's not like a Souls game. It's not difficult. It's not designed that way. Um, enemy variety could be better, but yeah, there's a lot of agency as far as upgrading everything. Uh, a good loop, good map so far. The maps look pretty. I like the aesthetic of the world. It looks like Nier Automata. The Nier replicant games and stuff. Um, Horizon Zero Dawn. What else? Games like that. Even The Last of Us. Where everything is being taken over by vegetation. Um, Skill tree. You collect points by just doing combat and everything, and the combat does center around somewhat with the parry. The parry makes the game easy. Okay, you parry. If you start learning parry early, you can start doing combos, trick shots in the air with the slow mo bow, Link style and Breath of the Wild with doing combos with Ku, because Ku is like half the game, like combat wise. He really is half the game. Like you upgrade him, you'll start like unlocking things and getting specific items for him that permanently like will buff you, will give you defense, will give you health potions in. I'm talking about in battle. It's kind of like Atreus from God of War, the modern God of War games, where he's just doing things like he's just helping you get stronger and live longer, and you know, very very important part of the combat system in this game, no doubt about it. Uh, So, this is an impressions video. So my impressions are that, it's a good game, but it's rough, This is not for me at least. It's not a 9 out of 10 game. To me, this is not a review, by the way. This is like, 7.5, 8 at the most game to me, which are great games. There's nothing wrong with games like that. If you like action RPGs, you like the aesthetic. Oh yeah, the music. The music does have like one tune, which sounds like it's straight out of near Automata, which I like. So it has that, and it sounds like music from Stellar Blade too. The music in this game, but it's not a lot of different variances of music. Okay, you might have heard that before, but it's not. But the music does sound like it's from straight up Stellar Blade and a Nair Automata, which is a good thing. So yeah, I'm just keep playing it, and this is probably going to be a slow burner for me. I'm gonna get back to it. I made 100. I don't know if I said this. I made 100 gameplay videos for this so far, and yeah, I want to keep playing. I want to beat it. It's definitely good enough for that for my time. Um, but later on today, I have a Marvel Token Fighting Souls arriving. So I'm gonna get my shit pushed in a lot in that game, but I'm gonna have fun playing it. So that's next up for the channel. And members, seriously, thank you for becoming a member of Jason'sVideoGameSource.com. You're gonna make it the best platform. Not me. You're gonna make it the best platform. So thank you, people who are becoming members to Jason's Video Game Source. It means a lot, more than you know. So also check out Bobby Vegas Gaming. That's my older brother's streaming. I'm trying to get him to play more different games for his streaming and stuff. But we'll see if that happens. I'm also trying to get him on the platform, see if that happens. But that's about it, people. Yeah, this is a really good AA action adventure RPG. It's on Game Pass too, which is how I'm actually playing it. So, you got Game Pass, try it out. But keep in mind, if it's not for you, it's not for you. And from all intents and purposes, it does seem like it's a 25, 30 hour game. Okay, it's not a short game, so keep that in mind. But if you like games like Nair, you like games like Stellar Blade, you like the third person action adventure RPG, games, you might like it. So that's about it. I'll see you in the next one. You have a great week. Later.